hurts so much. Oh my goodness, the back pain is miserable. It's terrible. And it's in the middle of the night, by the way. That's why I look extra Asian.
Hey friends, I'm going to do at least 5 straight days of a water fast. I've done all types of fasting from time restricted feeding to a 30-day fast. I've had some requests to track some data for my next fast, so that's why we're here today. If you're new to this world, I don't recommend you jump straight into an extended fast without consultation from a medical professional or nutritionist. That being said, here are the things I'm going to track: sleep, strength, weight, mood, blood pressure, hunger, and heart rate variability. Heart rate variability, or HRV, is a great low-cost biomarker for one's overall health and longevity, so we'll track that with a smartwatch and see if there's any movement on that end. As far as strength and energy, I'll keep tabs of the calories I managed to burn during a 3-minute HIIT session and the amount of push-ups I'm able to max out. I'll weigh myself the same time each morning and use a scale of 1 to 10 for things like mood and focus, with 10 being excellent. And at the end of the fast, we'll take a look back at the data to see if we can make any conclusions. Now, normally I'd prepare myself for an extended fast by going as close to OMAD, or 1 meal a day, as possible, and strict keto/carnivore. The logic is to prep my body to use fat for fuel, and in doing so, hopefully negate some of the typical rough patches of fasting, like headaches from keto fog. This time, however, I wanted to just eat normally. So I had a bunch of carbs. Maybe this isn't normal, but I had a bunch of carbs and sweets during the lead up week, and I fattened up quite a bit. In fact, I did such a good job, this fast is probably going to be necessary, as I tipped the scales at 191, which is the heaviest I've been in close to a year. I will continue taking my meds and the supplements that I do take for COVID considerations, but I will only drink water. Everything else remains the same: my morning routine, exercise, and hopefully sleep. So let's see how I do and what happens. Day 1, after a week of carbs and sugar, I do feel inflamed and quite a bit puffy. Also notice my skin becoming drier, as evidence from some dandruff. Feel pretty strong but irritable overall. That continued to today. Finally, I've been feeling a little bit hot lately, despite no change in ambient temperatures. My expectation is I'll start to feel colder the longer into this fast I go. I did get hungry at about 7 p.m. On a scale of 1 to 10, I'd say the hunger reached about a 7 and lasted for about 15 minutes. So that's expected. And I have to do a better job of planning something, some sort of distraction at 7 p.m. every day. It's definitely tougher getting back on the train this last week with the standard American diet, with normal eating windows, has definitely made at least the start to this week tougher than it needed to be. But it looks like we're gonna make it okay today. All right, so it's day 2. I'm totally still having some skin issues, kind of allergic and itchy, dating back to last week. Now, correlation doesn't equal causation, but that was the carb sugar week for me. I am slightly less irritable and slightly more focused today. I'm also down to about 184 pounds from 191, but a lot of that is likely due to water weight. So it's almost 5:30 right now. No issues with hunger throughout the day. Of course, now that I said that out loud, probably gonna be starving in a few minutes, but so far so good. All right, it's day 3, still a bit itchy, but no longer dry. I'm feeling a bit chillier than the last few days. I noticed it starting last night. I do miss my decaf black coffee a lot, just the taste. I think it also helps suppress my hunger a bit. Something interesting of note was my HRV scores shot up significantly, going from 55 milliseconds to 100. Tested it multiple times, so I don't know. We'll see if that holds. I do feel like I've had more focus and energy today. I've just been like an editing machine. So far, so good.
It's too early.
Oh! Hello, it is day 4. I got a new thing. It's keto tongue / dry mouth. Keto tongue is kind of a known quantity. You get this like film on the surface of your tongue. I've got dry mouth despite the massive amounts of water I've been drinking. So I might need to introduce some salt. The last thing of note is during today's Wim Hof breathing session, I got extra tingly today.
This is a guided breathing session. Are you ready? Here we go. Breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out.
So
Let your
tingly.
breathing return.
So that was kind of weird. Other than that, all right, day 5. I do have something new to report. Unfortunately, in this case, I have excruciating back pain. It's a 9 on a scale to 10. I thought it was unrelated to the fast since there wasn't any like physical exertion I can attribute it to. But some folks in the comment section and some preliminary research indicate that it might be due to a lack of electrolytes, maybe an imbalance, or possibly even release of toxins. I have never experienced anything like this before with any of my previous fasts, so I'm a bit befuddled, but I'll introduce some pink salt and give it another day. It's just frustrating because everything started off so well. I was energized in the morning, exercised, began work, fully focused, but by the time noon hit, that's when the back just... while I was still sitting at my desk, so I don't know, it just happened. At least everything else is all good so far, knock on wood. We're gonna call it a day, and I'm gonna walk away with my little cane. Let's see what happens tomorrow. I'll update you then. Okay, bye.
It's in the middle of the night. Just wanted to check in. Oh my goodness, the back pain is miserable. It's like I'm 99 years old. Actually, no, wait a minute. 100-year-olds move better than me. So much pain. It's terrible.
So it's actually day 6. The last time I ate was Sunday evening. So this is actually day 6. But partly because of the back issues I experienced yesterday, I decided to take in an extra day from the original 5-day plan. I do have some updates on that. My back is feeling much better. It's uncomfortable still, but relatively pain-free. I was well enough to max out push-ups just to get some more data.
Is this angle too close up? I think it is.
I'll have to do more research on the subject, but here's my hypothesis on what went on with me regarding that issue. This might be a little TMI, so feel free to fast forward, but I think this has something to do with bowel movements, experienced some constipation and hadn't gone to the restroom in quite a while. I think part of that was due to my lack of salt intake and dehydration. And I think the constipation probably put some pressure around that area. I'm inclined to think that because upon taking approximately about a tablespoon of pink salt and doubling my water intake, that helped to sort of loosen things up on that end. By like 1, 2-ish a.m. last night, it suddenly went from like a pain scale of the 9 down all the way to maybe a 3 or a 4. I think that the uptake in salt and water addressed the root issue, which was dehydration. And by the way, I also noticed a drop in my HRV values when I was suffering through the pain. I will break the fast tonight, and then I'll return for some final thoughts. I forgot to mention that at 1 o'clock today, which is the 6th day, I got extremely cold. Brr. I'm talking like this cold. It's something that happens. You just got to deal with it with these longer fasts. I have my cup of broth. Ooh. Oh, it's so nice and warm. If it weren't for the fact that I have pork belly sous videing for the last 18 hours, I might have considered extending this fast. But pork belly beckons. For something as long as 5 or 6 days, I have gone straight into just normal eating before to no real ill effect. But let's play it safe. The first thing of food in 6 days? Want to see the broth? Oh my goodness, this is so delicious. I'm not kidding. I like to buy a lot of bone-in products, and once I've collected enough bones, I like to throw everything into a stock pot with some aromats and just reduce and reduce and reduce and reduce. So this is just so good. I'm not kidding, that's delicious. Well, we're gonna call this a wrap because I gotta run. Check back in with you later. So, can we deem anything of import by extrapolating the data here? The small sample size kind of makes it difficult to say with confidence, but here are some things I can gather. First, the quality of my sleep didn't change, well, until the anomalous back pain, but the quantity did. I seem to require less sleep the further into the fast. Next, I noticed for what I do, there was less than an 8% change in stamina and strength. I believe the deviation would have been far greater if I was like an athlete doing longer and more strenuous activity, but I don't see a reason to stop light activity during a fast of 5 days. In my 30-day fast, I did experience a huge drop in strength, but that didn't occur until day 9. I did lose about 16 pounds in 6 days, but there's a couple of caveats. What I ate before the fast led me to retain a lot of water weight, which accounts for that initial 6.8 pound drop between days 1 and day 2. In my experience, the first few days usually does account for most of the weight loss anyways, and that is due to this water retention, but in this particular fast, in this instance, it was quite a bit excessive. Also, within a couple days of brief eating, I ended up back at 181 pounds, and then my body settled down to 179 pounds after a week of eating normally. Accounting for those two things, I feel more comfortable stating I lost about a pound a day of real weight. There was a 25% positive increase in my mood, energy, and focus. There were nominal changes in my blood pressure, but remember, fasting was the reason I was able to get off the beta blocker atenolol in the first place. I can't vouch for the accuracy of the HRV monitor I used, as I haven't tested it against like chest sensors, so that's the next step, and I won't rely on the final values, which if at all accurate would be phenomenal. But I am intrigued and encouraged by the movement, with an increase in HRV by day 3 and a decrease corresponding to the back pain, which is indicative of inflammation. Remember, the higher the HRV value, the better. It means your body adapts well. Anything that increases your homeostatic capacity is gonna be great. Everything else we kind of know already. You know, there's gonna be some skin improvements, less hunger, and feeling colder the longer into a fast you go. I was surprised that the standard eating I did in the prior week didn't lead to a period of keto fog, which for me usually manifests as a headache sometime during the fast. And finally, I still feel fairly confident in my assertion that the lack of salt intake and subsequent dehydration led to the constipation and begat the back pain. Full disclosure, on the 6th day I felt so good, I shoveled snow.
14 inches.
And my back pain flared up again, lasting another few days. So perhaps there were other cofactors. This was certainly a first for me though. That said, I'm not discouraged by the slight perturbation, and it serves to remind me that the body does change. Fasting at 200 pounds is different than me fasting at 180 pounds. So electrolyte levels and the body's ability to self-regulate might be affected. So while I never needed a supplement with pink salt for extended fasts less than 10 days, perhaps I do now. That's it, we made it. So would you like to see me do another fast? What other data would you like to see get tracked? Comment down below, and I would love it if you subscribe to the channel. Be well for now. I've been Dr. Jason Fung. I'm just kidding. 2% of you probably couldn't tell us apart.